All right, how's everybody doing here today on a Thursday evening? Hope everyone is well. Just wanted to show you where I'm at with the Walthers Cornerstone Arrowhead Ale structure in HO scale. So this week I was able to get the three walls of the building structure glued together. Really went well. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And then as you can see, I was able to give the three main components here a coat of gray primer. So the wall, the building structure, the wall structures, gray, and then this is the roof where I added this nice right triangle plane to the original rectangle strip they give you to, because this structure is skewed with respect to the wall, to fill that gap. I got that primed, and then here's the foundation, the base. Again, just one piece. I got that primed. Again, using just an automotive gray primer. Works really well. Before I paint any bare plastic, I like to use this polyester plastic prep just to take off the grease. Any mold grease, release agents, any grease that I leave on there from my fingers. This company's long out of business, but I have been able to find a couple of rogue bottles at some local hobby stores, still available. This was $3, and this is a great solution that just helps clean the plastic and make the paint bond with the plastic a little bit stronger. So just wanted to mention that. Just taking a look at the back here, nothing fancy. I didn't reinforce the corners. I did use super glue. And again, there's the seam. That reinforced the seam where I added on this piece of wall, again, to close the gap. This piece of wall to close the gap with my wall of my room because of the skew. One thing I did also want to mention that really helped when I was gluing the three wall pieces together, I ordered these they're called 1, 2, 3 blocks. Basically, I don't know if this is aluminum or steel. It's pretty light. It might be aluminum. It's got these holes bored in it. I got two of them. The two came in a box. Got these on Amazon. Again, if you want them, they're on Amazon. They're called 1-2-3 blocks. And these are really nice because you can set them up like this. And then, if I do like this, and then they really helped kind of give me a nice right corner to work with, and they kind of held the walls in place while the glue was setting, while I was setting the walls and applying the glue to give me a nice right square corner. And I'm sure there's a variety of other things you could use them for, but that's what I use them for. And these came in really handy. I think I paid 10 or 12 bucks for it, and that was one package. I got two in a package. One strange thing is when they arrived, and they reeked of like a petrol, almost like a kerosene or a gasoline. I opened the box. Each block is wrapped. It almost looked like a wax paper that was completely saturated in some type of solvent that reeked. I was actually getting a headache as I unwrapped these things, and I had to wash them to get that solvent off of them. Some type of petrol product that they must have used for shipping, maybe to keep them from corroding or rusting. I'm not sure. They did come from China, and in fact, there was so much solvent that it had actually bled from the wax paper into the cardboard packaging. So that went right in the trash. And now they don't really reek much, but they did when they first arrived. I did not expect that. So if you do order those, be on the lookout. You might have to deal with that as you unpackage it, unless I got some anomaly. So not terribly exciting. The next step is going to be to actually, I now paint these, the top coat for the building. I have to pick a brick color. I'll keep you posted on that. The wainscoting, the stone foundation wainscoting here with the water table, that's going to be a different color. But I got to pick a brick color. I'm kind of leaning towards what they did here on the kind of a yellowish brick. I do like how this looks on the box. I think that might be the direction we go. So the foundation will obviously remain some type of gray concrete color. And then what I'm going to do, I'll do a separate video on this for the roof, is it's going to be a tar and chip roof using N-scale stone ballast with flat black and probably some grays to create a kind of old style tar and chip roof, ballasted roof that you would have seen back in the early part to mid part of last century. So just to make this episode a little more interesting, since there really wasn't anything too exciting with the structure, on Saturday I picked up a Penn Central SD40. It's an Athearn locomotive from Mile Post Hobbies up in Perth, New York. This is the third Athearn engine I have purchased for my Conrail layout, and they are all fantastic locomotives. I wanted a Penn Central because Penn Central was, one of probably the largest railroad that Conrail absorbed in the mid-1970s, because Penn Central had a colossal bankruptcy collapse after they merged. Just 2 years after they merged, basically Pennsylvania Railroad with New York Central, they became Penn Central. It just didn't work. So all of their equipment, track, etc. was absorbed into Conrail. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to have an old Penn Central locomotive on the Conrail layout, and here he is. Now, the reason I'm really showing him to you also is I spent the past couple days weathering him, and I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. You can still see I still have some masking on there to block the windows from some overspray, but it's easy to weather these Penn Centrals because they're just all black. It actually leaves you wondering or wanting more. So I wouldn't mind if you guys think if I should do another coat of a dust, kind of a road wash dust color. I'm pretty happy with how he looks. If you look at some prototype photos of a Penn Central SD40, you're going to see they look kind of white, little like dusty. And I think I captured that with this guy. So you're seeing a combination of airbrush and pastel. I first hit the whole body of the locomotive with a rubbing alcohol that really took the sheen off, almost a little bit too much. I did that with a brush. Once I got that done, I hit it with Tamiya XF86. That's a dull clear, and that brought the tone down even more, and it got rid of some of the blotchiness that the isopropyl alcohol left on the plastic. And then yesterday I hit it with a homemade mix of what I call my dust mix with the airbrush. The Tamiya was also applied with the airbrush, but the dust, it was essential to apply with the airbrush, not only to the trucks, but to the fuel tanks, the steps, the walking boards, and then obviously the whole locomotive body. The very top here, where those fan units are, that was hit with just Tamiya flat black, straight out of the airbrush, blasted it right into those those fans. So I'm just pondering if I should do another coat, add a little more white pastel or gray pastel, and that might do it. But, overall, I think I did capture what most of those SD40s look like after, logging thousands and thousands of hours on the rails. A little bit of light sanding on the Penn Central logo to make it look a little worn, and even the Penn Central title. Some fuel spillage down on the tanks, and I hit the trucks with the dust color as well. So he's connected with this Conrail SD38. It's also an Athearn engine. And then here's my SW1500 switcher, who's also an Athearn engine. They just run great. They're so smooth. You can really throttle them down, and they'll just crawl like 5 scale miles per hour along your layout. So here's where the ale building will go. I did move the property line over. It went a lot better than I thought. So I took the property line and skewed it to the left into the Conrail property. So now I have plenty of room, an alleyway between, the ale building and the Conrail property. I added some detail here to the Conrail property. This is Scenic Accents Woodland Scenics assorted crates. And then I got this shipping container. Seacoast shipping container last week. Put him on the property. And I weathered him and dulled him using rubbing alcohol. And you can see, and it did this to the SD-40 also, that isopropyl rubbing alcohol, which I think is 70%. 70% rubbing alcohol. That left the white blotching. I did not apply that with pastels or an airbrush. That's what the isopropyl alcohol does. So I think it looks really good on the shipping container. It didn't look so great on the SD-40 because it's a little too blotchy for me. Nice thing is you can basically rub it off if you don't like it. So pretty happy with how that's looking, and I'm working on this fence that kind of separates the tracks and the Conrail property. So, and here is my concoction. This is that dust color that I used on the SD-40. It's just a mix of different whites and grays, and I think maybe a little bit of this XF52 tan earth. Flat earth, I'm sorry. So that's where we are. Next step is to get this guy painted and do a little bit more work on the Penn Central SD40. And then we're going to get that structure up here on the layout. And then we have some work to do, ground cover work to do on this end of the layout before we start working on that end of the layout. I'm kind of working from the road crossing this way before I jump over to the far end. So, all right, that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys keep following along on this build of the Walthers Arrowhead Ale building. Have a good evening, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.